Here's a mind-bending fact about the Irish elk. It could run up to 50 miles per hour, despite carrying antlers that weighed 88 pounds. That's like sprinting while balancing a heavy suitcase on your head. But this incredible speed and those massive antlers weren't just for show. They were precisely engineered for survival in the Ice Age's boreal parklands. The problem is, when the climate started warming 11,000 years ago, these perfect adaptations became perfect liabilities. Let me show you exactly how evolution's success story became its greatest tragedy. Picture a deer the size of a small car thundering across frozen grasslands, its antlers wider than a king-size bed, yet moving with the grace of a modern gazelle. This was Megaloceros giganteus, the largest deer species ever recorded, standing 6.9 feet tall at the shoulders and weighing up to 1,500 pounds during the Pleistocene epoch. It's hard to believe something so massive could move with such speed, but the Irish elk shattered every assumption about prehistoric megafauna being slow and lumbering creatures. The skeletal structure tells a remarkable story of evolutionary engineering. Unlike modern deer with their delicate frames, Megaloceros developed a robust build with substantial thickening in the skull and mandible, a condition called pachyostosis. The early and complete obliteration of cranial sutures created a reinforced foundation for those massive antlers. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite this heavy construction, their body proportions matched those of cursorial animals like the addax oryx and saiga antelope, all built for running and stamina. Valerius Geist recognized that this deer was cursorial, adapted for running and endurance across vast territories. The relatively short legs and robust cylindrical body weren't signs of sluggishness, but rather precision engineering for sustained high-speed travel. Modern cursorial animals like the giganteus and reindeer can reach speeds of over 50 miles per hour and maintain these speeds for up to 15 minutes. The Irish elk's bone structure and muscle attachment points suggest it possessed similar capabilities, making it a speed demon disguised as a gentle giant. These adaptations emerged from intense evolutionary pressures during the Ice Age. Sexual selection drove males to develop increasingly impressive antler displays, while the need to traverse enormous territories for food and mates demanded exceptional speed and endurance. The boreal, steppe, woodland environments they inhabited stretched across Eurasia, from Ireland to southern Siberia, consisting of scattered spruce and pine mixed with low-lying herbs, shrubs, grasses, sedges, and various flowering plants. This rich vegetation supported the massive metabolic demands of maintaining such size and antler growth. The Irish elk represented peak evolutionary specialization for Ice Age conditions, their antlers reaching up to 144 inches from tip to tip and weighing 88 pounds, varied in shape and span across different populations, likely reflecting adaptations to specific local environments. Every aspect of their anatomy was calibrated for success in the boreal parkland world they dominated. This incredible specialization made them masters of their Ice Age domain, but it also set the stage for their downfall when those conditions began to change. The very antlers that defined their success would soon become the key to understanding their extinction. Those massive antlers weren't just weapons or decorations. They were sophisticated communication devices that could be seen from miles away across the Ice Age landscape. Most people assume these enormous structures existed purely for combat, but the evidence reveals a far more complex story. The Irish elk's antlers functioned as multi-purpose tools for survival, serving critical roles in mate attraction, territory establishment, and social hierarchy formation across the vast boreal parklands of Ice Age Europe. The size and shape of these antlers conveyed precise information about male fitness age and genetic quality to both rivals and potential mates. In the open steppe woodland environments where visibility stretched for miles, these antler displays operated as long-distance signaling systems. A male with broad, symmetrical antlers broadcasting his genetic superiority could attract females from enormous distances without the energy cost of direct confrontation. The antler architecture varied significantly between populations, with some developing broad palmate shapes, while others grew more branched structures, likely reflecting local environmental pressures and communication needs. The nutritional investment required for these displays was staggering. Antlers generally require high amounts of calcium and phosphate, especially for stags, which have larger structures, and the massive antlers of Irish elk may have required much greater quantities. Only the healthiest males could support such displays, as stags typically met these requirements in part from their bones suffering from a condition similar to osteoporosis, while the antlers were growing and replenishing them from food plants after the antlers had grown in or reclaiming nutrients from shed antlers. The biomechanics reveal that these antlers were held high for maximum visibility rather than lowered for fighting. The massive shoulder development and neck musculature supported this positioning, creating a living billboard that announced male quality across the landscape. During the annual growth cycle, new antlers would emerge each spring, reaching full size by autumn mating season when testosterone levels peaked. The timing aligned perfectly with resource availability in Ice Age environments where summer's abundant vegetation provided the minerals necessary for antler development. This communication system was perfectly calibrated for open parkland environments where visual signals could travel unobstructed. The scattered trees and shrubs of the boreal steppe provided enough cover for grazing while maintaining the open sight lines essential for long-distance antler displays. Males could assess rivals and females could evaluate potential mates from distances that would be impossible in dense forest environments. The enormous antlers helped Megaloceros survive and attract mates in Ice Age Europe by functioning as sophisticated long-range communication tools in open landscapes. These magnificent displays caught the attention of another species sharing their territory. Early humans who witnessed and documented these spectacular antler shows in their cave art. Hidden in caves across Europe are the only eyewitness accounts of living Megaloceros painted by our ancestors who shared the landscape with these giants for thousands of years. These ancient cave paintings serve as invaluable first-hand records of Megaloceros giganteus, offering crucial details about appearance and behavior that skeletal remains alone could never provide. The artists who created these works witnessed these creatures in their natural environment, capturing details that modern paleontologists have only recently validated through scientific analysis. The mystery deepens when you consider why these animals appear in cave art at all. Cave art depictions of Megaloceros are less abundant than those of red deer and reindeer, suggesting they held special significance beyond being just another prey species. Something about these magnificent creatures captured the attention and respect of early humans in ways that went beyond simple survival needs. Their majestic appearance and impressive antlers likely inspired reverence rather than routine hunting interest. The artistic depictions reveal remarkable details about their physical characteristics. Cave paintings consistently show Megaloceros with a dark coat and white underside, along with a dark stripe running along the back and stripes on either side from shoulder to haunch. The art also depicts a dark collar on the throat and a chin strap, creating a distinctive pattern that would have made these animals instantly recognizable across the Ice Age landscape. Most notably, the paintings show a dark hump on the withers, a feature that has no underlying skeletal correlate but appears consistently across multiple cave art sites. This shoulder hump represents a crucial adaptation that would be unknown without these ancient artistic records. Modern analysis suggests this hump served as a storage site for fat similar to bison, helping Megaloceros survive lean times or prevent overheating during running or the rutting season. An especially detailed image at Cognac shows what looks like a dark vertical stripe descending from the shoulder hump and forming a division between the deep neck and the rest of the body, providing precise anatomical information about these bold markings. The cave art often shows Megaloceros in dynamic poses that suggest speed and power rather than static displays. These depictions validate our understanding of them as cursorial animals built for running across vast territories. The positioning and context within cave art reveals them in their natural boreal parkland habitat, with evidence suggesting seasonal migrations and herd behavior patterns that help them navigate the challenging Ice Age environment. Ancient cave paintings demonstrate how early humans viewed Megaloceros as majestic creatures perfectly adapted to their Ice Age world. But this perfect adaptation was about to become their greatest weakness as the climate began warming and their specialized world started disappearing forever. The same climate change that ended the Ice Age transformed Megaloceros from evolutionary success story into a species trapped by its own adaptations. As temperatures rose around 11,000 years ago, the open, grassy boreal parklands that had provided ideal conditions for the Irish elk began transforming into dense forests and tundra. This shift in vegetation had a direct and negative impact on the species' ability to thrive, turning their specialized world into an uninhabitable maze of obstacles. The cruel irony becomes clear when you examine how their greatest strengths became fatal weaknesses. Those massive antlers became obstacles in dense forest environments rather than advantages. The very traits that made them successful: massive size, enormous antlers, and specialization for open environments became liabilities in the changing world. Their specialization for open environments, which had been an advantage during the Ice Age, became a liability in the post-glacial world. The changing vegetation created a nutritional crisis that struck at the heart of their biology. The shift in plant life led to a decline in the nutritional quality of available forage, making it increasingly difficult for males to obtain the high levels of calcium and phosphate required for massive antler growth. The minerals that had been readily available in Ice Age vegetation became scarce, forcing stags to deplete their own bone density to dangerous levels just to maintain their defining characteristic. Their impressive headgear became a hindrance in dense forests, limiting their ability to forage and flee. The biomechanical challenges were immense. Animals that had evolved to run across open grasslands now found themselves trapped by branches and undergrowth. Their high metabolic demands, coupled with a slow reproductive rate, made them vulnerable to population crashes when resources became scarce. The combination of these factors created a situation where the very adaptations that had made the Irish elk successful in the Ice Age became detrimental in the changing environment. The range of the Irish elk contracted dramatically during climate fluctuations, with few remains known between 27,500 and 14,600 years ago, and none between 23,317,500 years ago. A 2021 study found that Megaloceros giganteus saw a progressive decline in mitochondrial genome diversity beginning around 50,000 years ago, which accelerated during the last glacial maximum. This loss of genetic diversity likely made the species less resilient to environmental changes and increased its vulnerability to extinction. The very antlers that made Megaloceros successful became a liability in dense forest environments, illustrating the paradox of evolutionary specialization. Their specialization for Ice Age conditions left them with no evolutionary escape route when those conditions vanished, demonstrating the delicate balance between adaptation and survival in an ever-changing world. Megaloceros represents the ultimate evolutionary paradox, a species so perfectly adapted to its environment that it could not survive when that environment changed. In nature, specialization can be both the key to success and the path to extinction. This ancient story mirrors modern conservation challenges, where rapid environmental change threatens species that have evolved for stable conditions. The Irish elk's fate serves as a powerful reminder of the intricate relationship between a species and its environment. Even the mightiest creatures can fall, not because they were weak, but because they were too specialized for a world that no longer existed.